So despite that, China today, when you look at that tremendous growth, actually in the last 30 years, since 1978, China has made tremendous growth by very good use of FDI, foreign direct investments, low labors, low birth rate, good productivity, and all of those. So China's GDP has been growing, as you all know, in close to 10% year over year in the last few years. But on a per capita basis, it's still very small. It's only 1/10. But today, if you look at in the past 30 years, China was very much manufacturing centric. Actually, China has become the world's factory. Everything made in China. I think we go everywhere. We buy. I once went to UK and go to buy some souvenir, take it back home, but turned out to be made in China. But now it has reached to the point that the natural resources, either it's copper, it's steel, it's cement, or even simple energy, oil, and also the environmental issues, and so on, has really put a damp, and really become a constraint for the sustainable growth. So that's kind of China also recognized that China got to change. We talk about crossroad. China is also at the crossroad. Even though China is making so many goods, but it's still very low in the value chain. You look at iPad or iPod or whatever that Apple sells, is actually made in China, shipped from China in Shenzhen from Foxconn. But they're making very small amount of that assembly or making of those goods. So even though China has advanced quite a bit, but still rely very much on the Western world in advanced technologies and so on and so forth. China, many of the Westerners look at China as one country. Many knows that, oh, I know that the coastal city is a tier 1 city, tier 2 city, and if you go to inland, the tier 3 and so on. But actually China is very complex country. The coastal cities are much advanced. Actually, all the region have different dialects or different cultural. Or if you look at U.S., it's still very homogeneous. And when I say that, some people will laugh. But you know, when you go south, still very, very similar. But today, China has built up something called clusters. You look at Michael Porter talks about the effect of the clusters. So you're now looking at different clusters. The Bohai area, like Beijing, Tianjin, and that area. I was in Qingdao and look at that. That city. 7 years ago when I went there, there's only 3 million, very small village, kind of a small city. But now it's 8.5 million. It's like Hong Kong, so I was shocked. But likewise, you look at the Po River, you look at Yangtze River area, they're building up those clusters with the rapid train intercity, rapid railroads. So now, for example, from Beijing to Shanghai is going to be 5 hours. From Guangzhou to Wuhan is also about 3 to 4 hours. So it connects all the second-tier cities, third-tier cities in a very, very shortened distance. So I think the other way to look at it is urbanization. Urbanization is going on. Every year there's about 23 million to 25 million people migrate from the rural area to the city. So that is a big move, and that's will continue to go on.